Hi, today is Wildcard Wednesday, and as I was recently remodeling my beauty storage room, and I was putting away products, I had some time to think about products that I have recently changed my mind about my review, so I'm going to let you guys know. I think there's 6 of them, so here's Wildcard Wednesday products I've changed my mind on. The first one I have, actually I already went through the whole bottle, but I have a little one, is the Algenist Liquid Collagen Serum. And my initial review of it was not the most complimentary. I really was bummed that they included fragrance in it, and that was my main concern. Obviously I went through the whole bottle of it and I didn't save it, but I have a little tiny sample one. I've got a couple of these. And really, after finishing the bottle and not using it for a period of a few months, really kind of changed my opinion of it. The more I used it, the more I found that actually the scent, which was my major concern, it does dissipate rather quickly. And it really does provide a lot of beneficial ingredients. It really does a nice job of leaving your skin feeling soft. And with beauty products, there's always a trade-off because there's few products that have everything you want and nothing that you don't want. So there's always a trade-off, and is it worth it? And for me, using this, I think was worth the trade-off for the fragrance. So you can always check my earlier review out, but it definitely does a good job leaving your skin feeling nice and soft. I guess my major concern was the this dropper just is not working. The fragrance was the major concern, and then the price. It's about $100, but for me, I definitely think it was worth it. It's not something I wouldn't not recommend to people because the fragrance does dissipate rather quickly, and it does contain a lot of good antioxidants for your skin. So that's kind of the pros of it. It contains a lot of antioxidants, a lot of beneficial ingredients. I like the packaging for the most part. However, it is a clear bottle. The full size also comes in a clear bottle, so you want to keep it in your cabinet away from light. Which can degrade the beneficial ingredients, but it definitely does a nice job of hydrating your skin, leaving it feeling soft, and providing a lot of good beneficial antioxidants and other ingredients. And then obviously the cons, of course, would be the fragrance and the high price tag, but after using that full bottle and going without it for a few months, I think I've changed my opinion more favorably for this. So if you can afford it, I would recommend it a little bit more than my initial review of it. So that's kind of one of the first products I've changed my mind about. The next product I changed my mind about is the Tatcha Water Cream. And this one, when I reviewed it, had just came out. Sephora sent me in different packages and promos and things. I probably went through like 8 or 9 of those little tiny jars of it. And I eventually liked it enough to go and purchase the full size. And my initial review of it, I was mostly concerned about the jar packaging and the fragrance in it. Let me see if I can get this one open, man. I don't know why I always have problems with Tatcha containers. So it's just there we go. So I was very concerned about the jar packaging. That was my biggest complaint. When you're spending that much money, the jar packaging is a little bit disappointing. But after going through several of the smaller sizes, there's not a ton of antioxidants in this product. It's more of a hydration product. There are a few. It's got the Camellia Synthesis green tea extract, which is good, and it's up there on the ingredient list pretty high. So it's got some antioxidants, but not enough that the jar packaging is a complete turnoff. Or you could also repurpose it and put it in a jar, but they do a nice job with it. The fragrance was another concern of mine. I found with the water cream, it does dissipate almost immediately from application. So, and it is kind of a lighter scent. And then my other concern was alcohol, denatured alcohol. That is second from the end of the ingredient list. So, still not something that I would highly recommend, but for me in the summer months, I really appreciated the water gel cream texture that this has. So it was nice in the summer to use that because it's just got a very light texture to it. And if you have oily skin, you'll probably appreciate it a little bit more. And then the fragrance, it dissipates quickly and it's rather light. So I still wouldn't highly recommend it, but my initial review of it wasn't very complimentary. Again, and I think I've warmed up to a little bit more because it really has a soothing feeling on the skin and how light that texture is, and how it absorbs, but it's not greasy, and it still can do a nice job hydrating your skin while not leaving it feeling too moisturized or too greasy or oily or anything like that. So it definitely does a nice job of that. So definitely a lot of good things about it, and then there's a few negative things, but the more and more I used up those little jars, the more it kind of grew on me. So I can definitely see how if somebody has very oily skin, they probably would really appreciate the nice light texture that it has. So I've kind of changed my mind a little bit about it. And then the price thing also, it is still a little bit more expensive, but the jar is a little bit bigger than the standard moisturizer jars. So yeah, so I kind of changed my mind about it. Still not a huge fan of the included fragrance and the price and jar packaging, but overall it's just not quite as negative as I initially thought it was. So that's my second one. So my third one out of 6 is another Tatcha product that I didn't review so complimentary as well, and that is the Tatcha Violet Sea Radiance Mask. And I initially wasn't a huge fan of it. Also, fragrance, jar packaging, and then some fruit extracts, which are citrusy, which aren't very beneficial for the skin. But this was another one where through Sephora I got many of the little jars, probably 5 or 6 of them. And after using those, I kind of appreciate the mask a little bit more because there's a lot of times where I want to use a mask to exfoliate, but my skin is either a little bit too dry to use like the Drunk Elephant Baby Facial, which is pretty strong, or the Ordinary's peeling mask that they have. That one sometimes is a little too strong for my skin. So actually I end up liking this one because it's kind of a good in-between. It's not going to over exfoliate your skin and leave it dry and peeling like certain masks are or can do because they're too strong. So yeah, so this was another one. I'm still not a huge fan of jar packaging, but and this one does have some antioxidants in it, but oh, you know, I think I already took the spoon out. Anyway, normally there's a spoon, it's on my cabinet. So, but this is another one. The more and more I used it, the more and more I liked it. And the fragrance is not nearly as big of a deal on this one because it's a rinse-off product. So therefore, it's not going to stay on your skin overnight. So it doesn't have much time to irritate your skin because you're going to rinse it off. But I did like this mask because it never left my skin feeling overly dry. But it does do a good job absorbing some of the oils on skin without leaving your skin feeling dry or dehydrated. So I got the spoons upstairs, but so going through a lot of these masks, or a lot of the bottles of these masks that I got, I did grow to like it and appreciate it for what it is a little bit more. I mean, it's not out of this world, but it does a nice job exfoliating your skin, but not leaving it feeling overly dry or peeling or dehydrated. So my initial concern, obviously, the jar packaging, the fragrance, but I really like the fact that it does a nice job exfoliating your skin very lightly, but not overdoing it. And obviously, I'm still not a fan of the jar packaging and the fragrance that they've included, but overall, there's more to like about it than to dislike. So my initial review of this, again, is something I slightly changed my opinion on, but I just haven't found another good mask that exfoliates, but not overly exfoliates. So if you have an idea of one, let me know. And I've tried a lot of masks, and sometimes I just want to lightly exfoliate my skin, but not overdo it. And this one's a good one because the Baby Facial is pretty strong, as well as the Ordinary's peeling. Yeah, so kind of changed my mind on that. So the next one that I've changed my mind on is another one that I used up the entire bottle of it, or the entire jar of it, and that is the Murad City Skin Overnight Detox Moisturizer. So I've got this little sample, but the full size is a jar, but it comes in an airless jar, and my initial review of it was probably a little bit more negative than it should have been. So I do like that the full size comes in the airless jar. I love that, but I wasn't a huge fan of the fragrance that they included. However, after finishing that full jar up, my thoughts of it changed a little bit. Basically, I thought it does a nice job hydrating skin. If you have very oily skin, I think for you it might be a little too rich. It's very thick. The other thing is it can't really detoxify skin. And the other main marketing tactic they used with this was it helps your skin heal from the blue light, which blue light is basically the same as UVA and UVB rays. I mean, it can do some sun damage, but there's really no way to detoxify skin or heal it. The only way to do it is protect it with SPF. So this can't really do anything to detox your skin or really help correct specifically blue light damage. But I did grow to appreciate it for what it was, which is a decent moisturizer. My other issue with it at the time was the price, which is very expensive, and it was very expensive, so I don't really, it still is very expensive. But I really like the fact that they use the airless jar, so it's a decent moisturizer, but my initial reaction of it would be probably a little bit different than my thoughts about it now. So, and that fragrance that it includes does dissipate after about an hour or so. So after you begin to wear it. So anyway, so those are kind of my thoughts on that. Obviously the price and the fragrance are still there, but I just appreciate it a little bit more than my initial review of it. And I've got two more. So one other product that I changed my mind of is the Vita Liberata 10-Minute Tan. And my first experiences with it were good because I left it on, you want to apply it on clean skin, and 10 minutes is kind of a lie. If you want to get any tan at all, you're going to want to leave it on for 20 or 30 minutes. So it's just a bit much, and now I found better tanning products that do a better job. And although I do like this as a mask because it does do some hydration for your skin, but I wouldn't use it for the tanning so much as the other ingredients that includes. I just use this like any other regular mask. So obviously, I don't know, I'll put it on my hand. But it does include some fragrance ingredients, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it just doesn't do the tan as well. And perhaps it's that I got halfway through the tube, or I'm not sure what exactly changed, but it just, my end use of it just wasn't the best as the first few times I used it, or the first couple of months I used this, and I'm almost through this entire bottle. So for me to get any tan, I really have to leave it on for 30 minutes. Although it does have some good beneficial ingredients, also has a few fragrance ingredients, bitter orange and things. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm definitely going to use up the rest of this too, but I probably wouldn't repurchase it again. And if you're looking for more dramatic results or more tan, I definitely would recommend a leave-on tan or an overnight tan mask. So this one just can't deliver on some of those promises. So that's kind of why my opinion on that one changed. And the final one, the Neogen Dermology Gauze Peeling, which is the lemon I got, and I have probably 10 of these left. And my initial review of it was a little more positive. This was probably one of the very first exfoliating products that I really started to use. And they have two other versions of this. They have wine, which is purple in color, and then they have green tea, which is green in color. I would recommend those two if you're thinking about picking this up. I recommend the green tea the highest because that includes a lot more beneficial ingredients. This one just contains a lot of citrus and fragrance type ingredients, and those just aren't the best for your skin, although this is still a rinse-off product. I'm just not a huge fan of it, and I actually stopped halfway through and just didn't continue to use it. But definitely, if you're thinking about picking this up, I recommend the green tea. That ingredient list looks a lot better. So I'll probably be picking that up sometime in the future. But yeah, it just contains a lot of citrusy ingredients. And especially when you're going to rinse it off, it's just not the best exfoliation. You're best off using a leave-on exfoliant instead of something like this where you're going to smooth it over your skin and then rinse it off. So I would just recommend the green tea or a different altogether product. But this one just kind of let me down. And then the fact that it also contains denatured alcohols, and then the citrus ingredients, and then the packaging as well is kind of an issue. So there's just not as much to like about this one as some of the other exfoliants that I've reviewed. So that's kind of why my opinion of this one changed. So Anyway, so those are kind of my thoughts. I'm interested in your thoughts. If you guys have tried something, loved it or hated it, and then changed your mind on it. What product is it, and why did you change your mind on it? I know the more and more you use things, and it's interesting, the more and more you use other products, not even the specific one, you kind of learn what you like more, and then you find things and reasons not to like something so much. And then you can try 100 other things and come back to this and say, you know what, it wasn't so bad. So, I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts, so leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I come with at least one new video every day. And check out nobsbeauty.net and the Amazon link below. Thank you so much, guys.